Let's start with the movers and let's start with the big mover here today. This is going to be VIR. This is VIR Biotechnology. We had a huge move. We were up, I think, like 60 something percent earlier. Stock was in a 13 handle in the after hours yesterday. It actually got to a high 12 handle again here in the pre-market, but now this gives us a lower high, which means we now have a potential trend line target here. I also have a fair value gap here on this chart. It's wide, right? So as far as a trade goes here, I would definitely trade this a little bit differently. I would not put the stop all the way at the bottom end of this gap. That's just too much room here. It does look like maybe it's trying to hold right here. So we'll see if it is able to cross 10 and go higher on VIR. But this is what the chart looks like so far. News here. Yesterday, let me get this real quick. Astellas and VIR Biotechnology announced global strategic collaboration to advance PSMA targeting of one of its drugs for a dual masked T-cell engager for the treatment of prostate cancer. So you got that. We also got earnings here. The 31-cent loss beat the 41-cent loss estimate, and sales of 64.07 million smoked the estimate of 23 million. So we got good updated phase 1 data for one of its drugs here, as well as positive earnings. That's what's driving the stock higher here. If we take a look at the short interest, 14.3% of the float shorted with 6 days to cover. That is absolutely, I would absolutely consider that high. Even though we don't get above the 20% percent of float shorted, we're still near 15%. It still has 6 days to cover, and that 6 days to cover comes on an average of 2 million shares. We've done 7.5 million here today. So we have done considerably over the average, but still a little bit of a squeeze potential in here. Additionally, the float on this one, 85.52 million shares. 13, what are you thinking here on VIR?
News is pretty good. The clinical trial, that's, they're still in the very early stages of it. So they're going to probably end up having to raise more capital as this goes on. And they even indicate that they're planning to initiate their registrational trial, which is the one where they're going to be, the high stakes trial, which is they're going to be submitting to the FDA. That's not until 2027. So they're going to need to have more cash. And they only have about 3/4 worth of cash if you consider their current cash position and short-term investments. So they're going to have to raise capital to get into that 2027 timeframe. I don't know if that'll happen today. I don't think it's likely that they will, but later on this year, I'm thinking they're going to have to. As far as the chart goes, we are trying to recapture the 200 EMA after we have a bit of a trend line here on the bottom side. We got support from it, and we're trying to recapture the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. And if we do that, then the next target's going to be up towards VWAP, and there's going to be some resistance around 11, I believe. Seeing as how that was previously supporting the as we opened pre-market here. So if you draw a trend line, I have a trend line on top and the bottom from the lows of the pre-market open to the low that we just put in recently. That's the trend line I'm referring to. It's kind of providing support right now. I don't know how great this one's going to trade. The 85 million share float's a little thick. But we should still be able to see some decent price action, but we really need to get above that 200 EMA on the 5-minute.